Sorry, guys, I'm a little late. If there's anyone who has joined, just please send me a message in the chat that you can hear me. Is there anyone who can just quickly confirm if you can hear me? Yes, thank you. Just a moment, yeah, I'll share this link. There was a technical problem, so just give me 2 minutes. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. We will shortly start with the session. First of all, thank you so much for joining. There was a technical glitch, so I had to delete the previous link because it was already been shared on multiple platforms. In 2 minutes, we will start with the session. Okay, once again, a very good afternoon. We are starting with the session now. Once again, very good afternoon. I got a lot of queries on WhatsApp, on Instagram also. Sir, why this topic was chosen? Because after the pandemic, for the first time, students would be going for the written exams, and there are a lot of queries, problems, issues they have. Even a lot of agencies been working on addressing the students' queries. But here in today's session, I'll be specifically talking upon certain points which can help you to score better, because I think for the last 2 years, student had built the habit of solving the multiple choice questions. But for the first time, if you're writing, there would be certain areas which you'll have to especially take care of. So yes, we are starting with the session, and I'll be dividing this session into two parts. One, we will be seeing certain strategies, and in the second half, we'll be talking about top 10 mistakes generally the student commits when it comes to a written exam, that we'll be seeing in the second half. So if you have any queries in between, you can feel free to comment them in the chat. I'm going through the messages been sent in the chat, so I'll address them by the end of the session. Or if in between, if it goes with the topic, we will discuss them one by one. So let's start with the first half of the session. That is first part of the session. That is how to get good marks in the exam. So if you have a conception like पढ़ाई की नहीं किया है फिर भी अच्छे marks मिलेंगे, then I'm not going to give you any those magic tips or tricks. सबसे पहले तो आपको पढ़ना है. But along with that, there are certain points. If you could take care of those points, that will really help you. That will definitely going to add a little more weightage in terms of when it comes to your performance in the exam. Okay, so first part, again, we will have 10 points. Second part, we'll have 10 points. So 10-10 strategy in both the parts. Point number one, you'll have to remember, if you have notepad, pen, notebook, something, you can note down those points. Will help you to remember them later. Number one is know your syllabus thoroughly. So for each subject, for each course, you have a syllabus. So सबसे पहले आपको क्या करना है? You'll have to download the syllabus. If it is university or a college, and you'll have to refer that syllabus, because 100% or all the questions will be asked from the syllabus only. So what you'll have to do, you'll have to go through your syllabus thoroughly. It will help you to understand all the topics. It will also help you to understand certain terms, and also give you a glance of how you're going to, you know, understand the contents of that subject, because every subject aims at, certain objectives and certain outcome. So that will help you to know your syllabus thoroughly, your syllabus well. Point number two in the strategy to score good marks is referring to the previous question paper. ये कोई नई बात नहीं है, हम सभी करते हैं. Even I have done the same when I during my college days. So आपको क्या करना है, previous question papers refer करने हैं. But क्या हुआ last 2 years में, in last 2 years those exams were in a multiple choice question format. So it's little difficult to get you the question papers. But 2 साल पहले के अगर questions paper आपको मिलते हैं, maybe from some seniors or university website, you can search those question papers with some keywords on Google. You will definitely get those questions or question papers that will help you to understand the nature of questions. इसमें भी बहुत सारी misconceptions होती है, जैसे whether all the questions will come from the same question paper. ऐसे नहीं होगा, but at least when a teacher sets a question paper, he'll at least refer to the previous one to understand nature of questions being asked. So that will definitely help you to know the format and the type of questions being asked. Third point is paper presentation skills. I have seen in many cases like students क्या करते हैं, they directly jump to the core answer. आपको ऐसे बिल्कुल भी नहीं करना है. Third point में आपको याद रखना है कि you'll have to strategically arrange your content. Like let's say for example, if there's a question, explain 4 P's of marketing. So instead of directly jumping to the 4 P's, like the first, second, third, and fourth, so what you can do, you can first write an introduction, like what is marketing, then definition of marketing, and then go to 4 P's of marketing. इससे क्या होगा, it will show that you know the content well and you have created a background, जैसे bringing on the topic. So you have created that background in the introduction, definition, and then you have started with the core point which has been asked in the exam. So उस हिसाब से आपको start करना है. And also a lot of people have habit of ending it abruptly. ऐसे बिल्कुल भी नहीं करना है आपको. At the end, like जैसे introduction, definition, then 4 P's of marketing, and at the end how those 4 P's are used in marketing mix, and I'll have to conclude that. So आपको conclusion भी लिखना है. Point number 4 is logic and interdependencies of the content. Again, if you want me to give the same example, if it is asked like define marketing and explain 4 P's or 4 C's of marketing, so a lot of people will start with the price. तो भाई प्राइस तो पहले नहीं आएगा ना, पहले तो प्रोडक्ट आता है, देन उसके बाद प्राइस, देन प्रमोशन एंड प्लेस. सो इफ यू राइट लाइक 4 P's में, इफ यू राइट प्राइस और प्लेस एज फर्स्ट P, तो एग्जामिनर को तो समझेगा कि आपने यू हैव नॉट मेंटेन दैट लॉजिक, दैट सीक्वेंस. So it can be any sort of a question. So try to understand the logic and interdependencies of all the points. Strategy number 5, or point number 5 you'll have to remember, is support the answer with a suitable example. In many cases it happens like the student are not clear with what they're writing and how to quote a right example. जैसे मैंने बताया था, if there's a question like explain what is surrogate advertising, so you'll have to support some examples. So surrogate advertisement, it means something which is legally not allowed to promote, but the marketers, the advertising agencies try to market those products. So which are those products? So you'll have to give an example which also clearly states that you really know the concept and you have quoted the right example. So support the answer with a suitable example. uh, Point number 6 is very important again. That is ensuring the length or weightage of every question. जैसे मैंने बताया था, like let's say for example again, I would be giving marketing questions since my background, my domain is marketing. You will find the questions maybe carrying 15 marks, 10 marks, 5 marks, right? So 15-mark questions are the long answer questions. आपको 10 marks का भी आ सकता है, 5 mark के भी क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं, right? So you'll have to understand the weightage. If it is given like define marketing and explain the significance of marketing, right? So if it asks for 15 mark, you'll have to ensure the length 15 mark ke liye kitna likhna hai. If the same question is asked like significance of marketing for a short note for 5 marks, right? So that you also have to take care of. जैसे 7 P's है, like what is marketing and explain 7 P's of marketing if it is asked, right? So 7 P's of marketing you can also write in a short form, like for the short note for 5 marks. You can also write for the 10 marks. You can also write for the 15 mark. So you should know the weightage of the marks been given to the question, because in many cases I have seen students, they write the first question for 10 pages, और फिर सेकंड थर्ड एंड फोर्थ पेजेस में फिर शॉर्टकट लगाते हैं, तो आपको बिल्कुल भी वैसे नहीं करना है. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज दैट इज सेवेंथ वन इज द रिलेवेंस टू द टॉपिक. तो आपको टॉपिक से रिलेटेड लिखना है. अगेन द सेम एग्जांपल लाइक बाइट एंड स्विच एडवर्टीजमेंट्स है, तो आपको व्हाट इज दैट कॉन्सेप्ट, सो उससे रिलेटेड लिखना है. बट इन सर्टन केसेस आपको कुछ भी नहीं आता है उस क्वेश्चन से रिलेटेड, तो भाई कुछ मत लिखो. इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट स्किप दैट क्वेश्चन एंड गो टू द नेक्स्ट वन. So I'll suggest you to write something relating to it, so relevance to the topic. And even if you're giving an example, जैसे मैंने surrogate advertisement का example दिया था, so if you're explaining surrogate advertisement, ensure that the product, I mean the example if you're giving, it is relevant, it is relevant to the topic. Next point, that is point number 8, is neat and clean. Like you'll also have to take care of handwriting, labeling. Also if you're drawing some diagram graphs, so that also matters a lot, because I have personally seen people write answer till 30 pages, 35 pages, but first 5-10 pages may it's those are in a readable format. But fair, like when it comes to 30-35 page, it's all running. So ensure that neat and clean ने इसका आपने ध्यान रखा है, ख्याल रखा है. That is also very very important, because for the teacher, when they'll be reading, when they'll be checking your papers, right? So they'll be they also expect that the paper should be at least neat and clean. So you'll have to take care of handwriting, labeling, diagram, graphs अगर आप बना रहे हो, तो that also have to be taken care of. Ninth number point is the time management, because since last 2 years you guys have lost the connect with written exams. तो आपको क्या करना है, you'll also have to ensure the time management, because generally ऐसे होता है, if it is 70 mark का paper, so like the first question, people will keep on writing for almost 1 hour, 1.5 hour. 3 घंटे में से 1.5 घंटा 1 घंटा एक क्वेश्चन लिखते हैं. इन लास्ट 2 hours you'll have to answer rest of the questions. Then you'll have to reduce on the length of the answer, so don't do that. So I'll suggest you to maintain that time. I mean, watch on the time and accordingly divide your time strategically for each questions. And strategy number 10 is going to be approach towards the exam. Like a lot of people have that mental block, because after the COVID, uh, where you guys have built a habit of solving multiple choice questions, objective type of questions. And in that, if suddenly if somebody could ask you to write 30 pages, 40 pages, is little difficult. So सबसे पहले तो आपको अपना mindset बनाना है. Like you'll have to be positive, be confident, and start uh, with everything with which you remember, right? बीच में ऐसे होगा like if you get blank, so बिल्कुल भी demotivated नहीं होना है. Confidently you'll have to face this exam, because this is going to be after the pandemic the first time the written exam, right? So these were the top 10 points you'll have to remember जो मैंने बताया था. I'll quickly paraphrase. Point number 1, know your syllabus thoroughly. Point number 2, refer to the previous question papers. Point number 3 was paper presentation skills, like start with introduction and end with the conclusion. Also you'll have to take care of the logic and interdependency of the content. Point number 5 we have seen was support the answer with the suitable example. And point number 6 was ensuring the length of the answer for each question. 7 was relevance to the topic or the question. And 8 was neat and clean, you'll have to take care of that. 9 was time management, and 10 and the last point of that strategy was approach towards the exam. So you'll have to build a positive attitude, positive approach. So this one was the first half of the session. In next 5-10 minutes we'll be discussing about Some common mistakes the student does, because I have seen a lot of students committing those mistakes while writing the answer, especially in the written exams. And I don't want you to commit the same mistake, because the topic is how to score good marks. So if you want to score good marks in the written exam, you will have to take care of those mistakes. And I have noted 10 top mistakes which generally committed by the students. So we'll start with that. Number one is not coming well prepared. जैसे मैंने बताया था, अगर आपने पढ़ाई नहीं किया तो क्या लिखोगे, राइट? सो प्रिपरेशन इज गोइंग टू बी द फर्स्ट की, फर्स्ट पॉइंट. सो नॉट कमिंग प्रिपेयर्ड, इट इंक्लूड्स एवरीथिंग. लाइक आपको सिलेबस पता नहीं है, आपने कंटेंट ठीक से देखा नहीं है, नोट्स निकाले नहीं है, सो डोंट डू दैट. You still have time to work on that. So mistake number one is not coming well prepared. Mistake number two is not going through the important instructions. ये है ऑन द डे ऑफ एग्जाम. लाइक जब आपको क्वेश्चन पेपर मिलता है, सो क्वेश्चन पेपर में लिखा है, मान लो ऑन द टॉप ऑलवेज द इंपॉर्टेंट इंस्ट्रक्शंस आर गिवन. क्वेश्चन पेपर में लिखा है, लेट्स से सॉल्व एनी 5 क्वेश्चंस आउट ऑफ 8. आपने पढ़ाई नहीं है, राइट? उसमें अगर ऐसे दिया है, लाइक क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 एंड क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 आर कंपल्सरी क्वेश्चंस, एंड इफ यू मिस देम, even if you answer multiple questions from the other questions, it's not going to help you, right? So the second mistake you'll have to avoid is the not reading the instructions. तो आपको सारे instructions carefully read करना है. Like time क्या है, कौन से questions compulsory है, कौन से optional है, so you'll have to read those instructions. Mistake number 3 is going to be not checking the question paper carefully. जैसे मैंने बताया था कि जैसे आपको क्वेश्चन पेपर मिलता है, spend initial 5 minutes to go through all the questions. And जब आप सारे questions पढ़ते हो तो you'll realize, you'll come to know that which questions, I mean the category of the questions which you can solve confidently. तो उसको numbering देना है. मान लो 10 questions है, 10 में से आपको 7 questions solve करना है. So what you'll have to do, you'll have to give them the numbering. 7 questions solve करना है, 7 में से best आपको कौन सा आता है ना, that should be your first question when you're attempting the questions. I also have that in one of my point. Next is not giving the right numbering. Yeah, this one is something which you also have to take care of. Like a lot of people make mistakes in giving the numbers. जैसे मैंने बताया था, if there are 10 questions and you'll have to answer 7 questions, so इसमें आपको क्या करना है, you'll have to mark those 7 questions which you can answer confidently. And even out of those 7 questions, the one which you know the best, because first impression is going to create a positive impression or the impact on the one who is going to evaluate your papers. तो उस हिसाब से आपको फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन ऐसे लिखना है जो आपको ठीक तरह से आता है, ठीक ढंग से आता है, अच्छे से आता है. ओके, और उसी में भी आपको you'll have to take care of that. Like let's say if it is a 8th number question and you're writing it as a first, so it should be 8th, not the first, because question number 1 is going to be something different. So अगर आप 8 नंबर का क्वेश्चन सबसे पहले सॉल्व करते हो तो इस नंबर शुड बी 8 ओनली, नॉट क्वेश्चन नंबर 1. You'll have to take care. बहुत इसमें बहुत गड़बड़ हो जाती है, because like let's say first question is what is marketing and explain functions of marketing, and question number 7 is what is product life cycle, right? So if you're giving number 1 and writing product life cycle, so question number 1 पे तो कोई कुछ और ही था, but you have written is product life cycle. So if it is product life cycle, if it is 8 number question in question paper, then while writing it should be 8 on in the paper, not the first. That is not giving the correct numbering is going to make a lot of confusion, और उसमें फिर आपके marks जा सकते हैं. Not following the proper order. Mistake number 5 is not following, not maintaining the proper order. जैसे मैंने इसमें बताया था in the strategies, right? So you'll have to ensure that you have maintained the proper order. जैसे मैंने बताया था, like if there are 7 C's of marketing, if 7 C's are asked, right? So सबसे पहले commodity आएगा, right? Then फिर cost आएगा, then फिर communication, convenience, right? So उस हिसाब से you'll have to maintain that order. Fine. Mistake number 6 is not considering the length of the answer. If it is 10 marks question, 15 marks question, so you'll have to ensure or consider the length of the question. कि कितना लिखना है उसमें. For question number first, पूरा 20 pages लिख दिया. Question number second, 3 pages में लिखा है, right? And 5, पूरा half paragraph, right? So it's not you have not given equal justice to all the questions. So उस हिसाब से you'll have to maintain. Mistake number 7 is not giving the relevant example. So we'll have to know the relevance. उस हिसाब से है ना क्वेश्चन, ठीक तरह से आपने लिखा है ना, that will have to take care. uh, Mistake number 8 is going to be not explaining with suitable diagram or graph or chart. ये मैंने बहुत टाइम देखा है ये. I mean, lot of people, lot of students make the same mistake. Like, let's say for example, if you're explaining, if the question is asked what is product life cycle, and explain different stages of a product life cycle, right? So I think those who have marketing background can correlate this. So आपको बिना ग्राफ निकाले हाउ डू समवन कैन एक्सप्लेन प्रोडक्ट लाइफ साइकिल? आई रियली डोंट नो, राइट? सो इसमें तो आपको, इवन इफ इट इज नॉट आस्क्ड, विल हैव टू ड्रॉ द डायग्राम. In many cases, in many papers I have seen, people explaining product life cycle without the diagram. How is it possible, right? So you'll also have to take care the length of the, I mean, the length along with, relevance with the suitable diagram and the chart. So you'll have to support it with the chart. Mistake number 9, which most of the student they commit, is not managing the time. जैसे मैंने बताया था, right? जैसे late आते हैं, if the reporting time is 2, you should at least reach 30 minutes before the exam starts. There may be some eventuality, but at least take care of the time. Also, when you reach on time, you get a little time to, uh, also settle yourself, and that is going to help you to bring yourself in the exam mode. And also, like, let's say if the paper is starting at 2 and you're reaching 2:30, right? So उसमें तो फिर काफी गड़बड़ हो सकती है, because you're not mentally stable at the time, right? And also managing the time, giving that equal time to address all the questions. और मिनिमम 10 मिनट पहले, एग्जाम से 10 मिनट पहले आपका पेपर हो जाना चाहिए, बिकॉज दोस लास्ट 10 मिनट्स आर, इट्स गोइंग टू बी ए स्कीमिंग रीडिंग. जैसे कि आपने नंबर ठीक से दिया है, पूरा सीक्वेंस किया है, राइट? सो ऑल दैट, यू गेट टाइम टू गो थ्रू दिस. And the last mistake a lot of people make is not having self confidence, right? ये तो सबसे पहले आएगा. I mean, it's a key to success, right? In certain cases it may happen, like out of 4 unit you have just covered 3 units, 2 unit हुआ है, but that confidence is going to, help you to score better marks, perform well in the exam, right? So that confidence has to be there. So go with the confidence and give your best, because from tomorrow the written exams for certain courses, programs are going to start, right? So this is how, we have come to an end. I'll quickly paraphrase the mistakes which student does. Number 1 is not coming well prepared, so you'll have to come prepared for the exam. Number 2, not going through the important instructions. So read the instructions carefully which are given in the question paper. Mistake number 3 is not checking the questions carefully. So first of all, like, spend 5 minutes to read all the questions carefully. Mistake number 4 is not giving right numbering. तो आपको numbering ठीक से देना है हर question का, and it should be the number of a question, not the order the way you are solving. Mistake number 5 is not following the, proper order, even if it is, addressing something, writing something in the exam. Not considering the length of the answer. Check the weightage and accordingly, solve and give the time and maintain the length of the answer. Not giving the relevant example आपको देना है. Not explaining with suitable example, diagram, chart, whenever it is required, whenever it is necessary. Ensure that you have given the right example, diagram and chart. Also not managing the time, so take care of the time management skill, because you have those 2 hours, 2.5 hour, 3 hour, because it varies for engineering, medical, commerce. You will have a different time. So you'll have to ensure that you have divided the equal time for all the questions in the exam. And the last one is going to be the confidence, which is going to help you and which is going to save you in the exam. Fine. I'll quickly address certain questions being asked in the chat. So if you guys have anything, any question, query, doubt, feel free to text them in the chat. I'll quickly address them. Everything is ready after so long attending the session. Feel nostalgic. Okay, thank you so much. Shaili has joined. Also, there's one. Will this help me get full marks? Satyam. Yeah, definitely it will help you to get good marks if you follow the guidelines which I have just discussed. Flowchart is also necessary, right? Yes, flowchart is also necessary if you're explaining the process, right? Like, let's say for example in HR, recruitment and selection process, so you'll have to explain all those stages. Very good. So process is also also an essential. uh, I don't know. Ganesh wants to, sir, study nahi hua hai. Tell me how can I pass without study? So there's no way. I mean, you'll have to study. That's a fundamental point. I mean, essential. So you'll have to study. How to pass without study? You will have to study. I mean, बिना पढ़े कोई कैसे पास हो सकता है? There's no magic. um, it was such a valuable and knowledgeable session. Thank you so much, Shreyas Acharya. Okay, one more question from Bhagyashri. Sir, once or twice I became blank as soon as I saw the paper or even in between. What to do in such case? Okay. So if you get there may be certain situations where you suddenly get blank. कुछ याद नहीं आता एग्जाम में. So in that case, what you'll have to do, you'll have to take a break of 5 minutes. 5 मिनट का ब्रेक ले लो. ब्रेक लेना है मतलब जहाँ पे आप बैठे हो, take a break, take deep breath, and also if it is allowed, take a permission of from the supervisor, go to washroom or fresh होके आ जाओ. That 5 minutes break is going to help you. It will help you to bring yourself on track, right? And that confidence and positive attitude. Yeah, this I'm going to crack. This question I'm going to write. Right? And once you start writing, फिर आपको सारा you start recollecting those points, what you have read, what you have studied, right? So that's going to help you. It's a good question. Also, we will definitely follow all the essential points. Thank you, sir. Okay, Shreyas has said. Thank you, sir, for your valuable points. Atharva Mankar, thank you so much. Is there anything like if you guys want me to address or answer? If you have any questions, feel free to comment them in the comment section. Relating to the written exam, if you have anything you want me to address, you can comment them in the comment section. I'll address them definitely. Sir, how to expand a point which we don't know? How to expand? Like let's say for example, you'll have to correlate with something. जैसे मैंने बताया, but in certain cases like you have no scope. जैसे मैंने बताया था, like if those are 4 P's of marketing, right? So 4 P में तो वो 4 P ही चाहिए. So like let's say product, price, place and promotion याद नहीं आया और उसके जगह पे आपने कुछ और लिखा है, right? So I mean there's no scope. But if you know something about product, price, right? So you can elaborate in your own word, like what you have understood, what you have read, right? So it's essential to know at least something when you want to expand or elaborate something. Very knowledgeable session. Thank you so much, Shaili. Bhagyashree ma'am, thank you so much. Fine, so it's almost half an hour. So I have come to an end of this session. Still, if you have any queries, you can always comment them here in the chat. Before that, let me also address one question. This is if I get some points from someone behind me and I want to expand it. So tell something how to do that. It's actually not ethical कि किसी और का पॉइंट देख के लिखे. So आपको खुद पढ़ना पड़ेगा. You have to know those points. You'll have to remember what to write in that. That's only going to help you. तो ये बुरी बात है किसी का देख के लिखना है. It's actually not ethical. So you should have self confidence, because when you are going to get the self confidence, if you have studied, right? So study is going to help you. Study is going to save you. But what I have discussed is these are some strategies and the common mistake you'll have to avoid if you want good marks, if you want good grades. Okay, thank you so much once again. So here I have come to an end. Thank you everybody for joining. And if you have any query, you can comment them, and you can share this link. I'll be keeping this on my channel with the one who is going to appear for the exam. So on this note, I'm Sandeep signing off. I'll see you guys in the next live session. Till then, do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much once again.